Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the Wise Take DFS podcast. I am your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I'm joined once again by two of Wise Take's finest NBA DFS analysts. We got our boy, the true OG, Paulie D. You can find him on Twitter at Paulie with 8 Ds. Paulie, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. It's already on the East Coast. It's already actually Christmas now. Merry Christmas to the nation, but Merry Christmas to you, Paulie. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to Josh, and Merry Christmas to the whole mother nation.
Like that. I like that.
It's kind of crazy though. It ain't Christmas for you yet on the West Coast. You got another hour and a half.
It's not, man. I'm remote. I'm on the West Coast doing the West Coast thing. My wife and I have never been to California. It's our first time, and everything is great. Like, because we do the podcast so late on the East Coast, I'm already adjusted to the schedule pretty much. It's just what throws me off is the fact that football started at 10 today in the morning. That was strange.
So, basketball's starting at 9 a.m., bro.
Yes, my Knicks are playing first game against Philly, and that's going to start at 9 a.m. So that's going to be weird. But yeah, it is cool that I'm doing a podcast at a normal hour of 10:30. Yes, that's cool. We're also joined, of course, by the man who needs no introduction. I'm talking about CashinDFS. You can find him on Twitter at CashinDFS. Cashin, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you as well, my man. How you doing tonight?
Doing.
He's doing.
Didn't cash in NFL this week, so.
You and me both, bud. You and me both.
I almost did. Close.
What was it? Fell, right? He threw you off.
Yeah, no Gurley.
Yeah.
Wilson got 14.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of duds again and still almost cash. It's a bunch of bullshit.
That's the chalk lifestyle, you know. Yeah. Some nights the chalk's gonna go off and we ain't gonna get money. But even if you had Gurley today, you still had to, to win a GPP, you still had to pick all the other ones, right? You know, it's hard to win those days. It's not fun when the whole nation ain't cashing out. I'll tell you that. I wish we had some Gurley, but he was projected to be the highest owned player against a good run defense. I didn't know he was going to take an 80-yard screen to the house.
If only we knew, right? If only we knew.
I said on the show, I'm going to fade Gurley and hope, like if I have Goff, just hope he catches the touchdown instead of running it. He caught one, but then he also caught an 80-yarder. So right when he did that was not good.
No, it wasn't. The good thing is that the NBA is now. So we can move on from the No Fun League and move on to the National Basketball Association. And we got 5 games, and even though it's, it was almost mandatory, at least we got late swap for a day. We have legit late swap for a day. There's no choice. The games are too spread out, but I'm looking forward to being able to take my time and not panicking, right? Because like normally before an NBA slate with no, you're panicking because you're waiting for news, you're waiting to react. Now it's like you can kind of lock in your early players and you can kind of just keep up throughout the day. I mean, it's Christmas. We all got things to do. We're all going to be with the family, things like that. But at least we know we're not screwed. Like there's always a situation where we can always like adjust. So I'm excited about that. Paulie, explain to me how, because like we always hear that there's actually a disadvantage from what a lot of people will say to the casual player with late swap. There's a slight advantage to the more experienced player or the professional, as you would. So give me an example of how someone like yourself would maybe use late swap, or maybe will use late swap tomorrow to take advantage of those kind of things and make sure that your lineups are up the top.
So there's 2 main things. One, like I'm triple entering all my donkey lineups, right? I mean, I built three teams, right? I have 3 Santa Slam tickets, $8 alley-oop qualifier tickets. So then, I added the $4 donkey, but I triple entered it, right? So the hope is, the handful of guys I have in the early games are going off, and then I got 3 of those that I can, adjust and have 3 different combinations of a good team, going into the couple night games. Some of the DFS pros out there will, take their team where it's at after the second game, and just start clicking optimize, with their favorite projection tool and make adjustments based on how they're doing so far. If a couple guys have dudded, they may go with some real high ceiling, high risk players and just try to, at least salvage a min cash. Or if the team's doing really well, they may make a pivot or two based on some news or, trying to get a little bit different or maybe even a little bit more conservative because the team's already done so well and they want to preserve good cash and not take a guy who can get you a 5 or a 45. So there's a strategies post-lock with late swap that come into play. Another one is essentially just play like 2 guys from the early games, my favorite 2 guys from the first 3 games, and then have the rest of my roster on FanDuel, the other 7 guys be from the last 2. Majority of players play the guys in the early games because that's when they're going to be home watching them, and they don't have a ton of news on the later games, and they might not be willing to sit at the computer and make adjustments. A good example is a guy like Clarkson on the Lakers. We know Lonzo Ball is going to be out, but we don't know if he's going to start. We don't know what his minutes are going to be. So he might not be highly owned because it's the last game of the night and we just don't know. But if you use the late swap tool and we find out he's starting at 9:45 and you still have a bunch of players and dollars to play around with, you could take advantage of a 4K guy that's likely going to get several. It's just about being on top of the news and making adjustments as they become available.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, we stress all the time how we would like a late swap so that we're not in a situation where we get zeros. But this is a whole different ballgame. Like you said, Paulie, there's going to be people there's going to be pros who maybe if they play a lineup with a couple guys in the early games, if those guys are doing well, they may reduce and switch their guys now. So it's not just about injury, it's about lowering their risk. And like you said, if they're struggling to go on, they need more upside to save that lineup. They're going to pivot to more risky players with high ceilings. It makes a lot of sense. Cash, what are your thoughts on late swap in general? Obviously, we all hate the whole injury thing. Nobody wants a zero. But aside from injuries, say because I know your biggest beef with everything has always been the NBA, not so much FanDuel and DraftKings, because you've always, I think, agreed that there is an edge to the pros with late swap. So I know your beef has always been with the NBA, not cooperating, not forcing these coaches or these teams to report their injury news on a timely fashion. So what are your thoughts on late swap in general?
Well, I mean, I would rather than not be late swap.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather take my chances on the guys that are game time decisions that are going to be low owned. That's what I want to do because I want first place. But with late swap, it's what Paulie said. I would it's not I wouldn't want late swap for injuries for guys that's going to be out late because I would rather there not be that. I would rather be able to play that guy low owned than news come out that he's going to be in and then everybody can just go to him late. But what you do is if your lineup is dudding, you go for those high upside players with very low floors. And that's how you can get back up there in cash. And the opposite, if your lineup is smashed, like you got a guy in the early game that's 2% owned. It goes 9x. Say he's 6,000. Supposed to get you 30 for value. And he goes out and gets you 55. Then you can start, and then you have 2 of them guys that go really off for you early. Then that's real low on. Then you can start going like, bam, I'm going to higher on guys that are with real high floors. Yeah. And that's how you can just get to the very top real easy. So yeah, I mean, I prefer no late swap because I want those guys that are starting late with no ownership. That's game time decisions. But it's also a scary thing because you will lose. What?
Yeah, if you want to tomorrow, say there was no late swap, and you put Jordan Clarkson in your lineup, and no one else is going to take that risk, then he gets ruled a starter. You want to get rewarded, not let everyone else be able to make that change at 9:58.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great point.
But I know, I mean, on Christmas Day when it starts at 12 and the last game until 10:30, it should be late swap.
Yeah.
But on a normal day, I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to play today without late swap. It would have been a nightmare. So yeah, I think we got kind of expected.
But it's not going to help you much if you're putting it in a whole bunch of early studs. You're not going to be able to change a lot of stuff around.
Yeah.
Like if you only have two guys yet to play, after the second game, and someone uses breaks, you might not have anyone available in that position, or the money might be too hard. Like to come off one guy, there's no one that you can afford nearby, and you have to take a $3,500 player. It's a lot of flexibility and players to go. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. With that said, before we go into the position by position breakdown as usual, let's go over some of the injuries that we are either we already know or waiting for. I think there's really only one person that we know, and that's Lonzo Ball. We know Lonzo Ball is going to be out with a shoulder injury for at least a week. Sean Livingston is questionable, from what we understand. And going to the Philly game, JJ Redick is questionable. That could be pretty significant. Brandon Ingram also questionable. He missed his last game, I think, with a quad injury. So if Ingram and Ball were out, I'm sorry, but if Ball and Ingram were out, that could definitely open things up for a lot of people there. Courtney Lee looks like he's questionable, although I think we read he's expected to play. It seemed like it was more of a personal matter why he wasn't with his team. Belizia, we've been waiting for him to play. He's questionable, but he's been questionable for a couple weeks, hasn't played yet. Marcus Morris of Boston, I believe he's questionable. I believe Joel Embiid is questionable, although I know Cash is pretty confident he's going to end up playing because he played in his last game. Clint Capella questionable. Kyle O'Quinn questionable. So we do have some injury stuff that we're waiting for. Of course, things could always pop up tomorrow. You never know. It's that time of year between illnesses, personal issues, things like that. And before we go into position by position breakdown, there's a couple things I wanted to go over. First off, a gift from the OG Paulie D. Tomorrow only. So that's Christmas Day as a Christmas present from Paulie D and the Wise Take and Wise Take. We are giving the Paulie's Fire cheat sheets away for free, just for a day. Tomorrow, Christmas Day, Paulie's cheat sheets will be free. You go to the webpage. If you're a member, obviously you already know it. But if you're not a member, I definitely recommend you take advantage of this Christmas gift we are offering to you, and go check them out tomorrow. I think Paulie's going to have them up by the morning, and you can go ahead and go in there and test them out. And there's a video on the page that kind of explains to you Paulie's process, and he literally tells you how to use these, how to use a pool. So it's more than what it may seem when you first look. Watch the video, and then use it. And that's a gift from Wise Take and specifically Paulie D. So Paulie, we appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. And it's actually up already, but it's a fluid document. There will be changes by the morning, but if you want to get a head start and start building some things, it's already up. But expect some changes before 12 o'clock's lock based on some of the news we get.
Yes, awesome. Also, we are doing one more announcement for the business stuff. We were in a pretty generous mood. Everybody's with family. It's that time of year.
Man.
It's Christmas. How can you not be, right? At times I could be a little bit of a Grinch, but I had to budge on this one a little bit. We're going to be offering, if you the NBA season pass, we're going to be offering. Normally I think it's $79.99 starting now, and we're going to give you it $10 off, so $69.99 if you use promo code Happy Holidays, no spaces, one word, no spaces, Happy Holidays. You'll get $10 off. You'll get the rest of the NBA season, including the playoffs. We're talking articles for cash and GPPs. We're talking Paulie's cheat sheets for slates of 5 games or more, Monday through Friday. We're talking Wise streams, Monday through Friday. Everything that we have to offer for the NBA package. You get it all. $69.99.
Plus minus charts.
Yes, the points, plays, plus minus, the chat. We got a lot of stuff. We do.
A lot of stuff that helps you make money. And guys have been winning. The nation's been really hot. We had a guy win 5250 the other day. We had a guy win 50 grand last week. We had a guy win 15K on a $4. We had another guy win 24K. So get there. Get on that stuff, man. People are winning money.
And it ain't all about that either. We got guys winning.
Next.
Guys winning hundreds every night.
10X, yeah.
We had a guy win 5K.
Yeah, man. Somebody tweeted you he's won like 4 nights in a row, a couple hundred. Like, yeah, it's not just about the big ones. Those are fun. But yeah, it's about consistently winning, developing a process that makes you a successful DFS player over the long haul.
Yep.
And that's what we do. Okay, and enough of the mushy stuff. You can ask my wife. I'm not. The corniness gets me a little uncomfortable. So let's move on let's move on and go into these positional breakdowns. Let's start off with some point guards. Paulie D, I'm gonna start with you. Take me down to around the 6K range or so. What do you see?
Point guard. So Westbrook at the top here. One of my favorite plays on the slate. If you look last year, the guy just went absolutely ballistic against Houston in 4 matchups. It's a big time pace up spot for the Thunder here. And with Chris Paul out, I don't know. You're looking at Eric Gordon D. You're looking at James Harden D. Maybe they slide over like PJ Tucker later in the game, but I think they're gonna need him for help. So I just, I'm gonna be locking in Russ in most of my lineups. Just a great spot. These are the 2 top teams outside of the Warriors in the West. They haven't played yet this year. I think they're looking, to prove who's, next in line in that division. So definitely an awesome game just to watch. But last year Westbrook dropped 55, 67.1, and 66.7 FanDuel points in 3 regular season meetings, and I don't see why he wouldn't do that. Granted, he didn't have Paul George and Carmelo last year, but he did have Oladipo, and he's just been on fire, and this is as big a pace-up spot you can get. So Westbrook at the top, one of my favorite studs and players on the entire slate. A little bit below that, I think you can take a look at Kyrie. He's getting a bit of a pace-up spot. John Wall's a decent defender, but nothing you have to shy away from. We've seen Kyrie get more aggressive of late. We've seen in close games, Kyrie becomes the guy down the stretch. And, if you want to get a little different, Kyrie's the only other guy up top that I would consider. And in the mid-tier, there's just one guy. Am I running through the whole position?
You can. I mean, there's only 5 games, right?
Yeah,
Might as well.
it's not that many.
Just run through.
So in the mid-tier, it's Jeff Teague. That's really the only guy with Lonzo Ball ruled out now. There's really, I don't even think any other players in the mid-tier here. Let me just look, right? Yeah, it's just Jeff Teague in a good spot against the Lakers. I think he's not going to be very popular being in that last game, but I don't know how much upside he really carries. He's probably the 5th option on that starting 5. Then for value, I like Jarrett Jack of the Knicks. Not a great player, but he's been playing very, very, very well lately. I think the Knicks are going to be amped up for this game. They have one of the biggest point plus minuses and pace ups on the slate. And Jarrett Jack's been, scoring over 20 FanDuel points the last 4 games. One of them he put up 40. I don't think he's going to find Simmons D today, so I think Jarrett Jack's going to find himself in a good spot. If you don't like Jack, then go to Frank Nitti of the Knicks as well. And deep flyer, we may need a little bit of news on this guy, but I liked what I saw out of Briante Weber in limited minutes. The last game played about 16. And if he could build on that, maybe get 20 in this spot or like in a blowout game flow build at min price, I think this kid could be a really sneaky flyer in like donkey tournaments. And that's really it. Point guard, really thin. Most of my teams are going to be Westbrook Kyrie, Westbrook Teague, or Westbrook and a Knicks point guard.
Yeah, I like that call. Cash, what are you looking at over there, point guards?
Well, I love Russ, of course. I mean, that goes without saying.
Yep.
If I'm gonna go to the 2 lower guys, I don't even know. I think I'd rather go to Wall. Kyrie's been playing better, so maybe he garnishes more ownership, and Kyrie's defense is worse. But Wall has not been scoring the ball really at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know when's the last time he got over 20. I don't think he's gotten over 20 since he's came back from his injury.
Oh, he hasn't. Are you worried about minutes at all?
Up. I'm not. I mean, I on back-to-back, they said they were going to monitor him, but nah, not on Christmas Day. I don't think there's nothing to worry about with that. I don't think that he would let coach be like, oh, I got to limit your minutes. Like, no, either I'm going to play or I'm not. It's Christmas. Everybody's watching. So I'm not scared of that at all. And after that, I would just go down, all the way down, like to call the wrong, maybe because he's gonna start, or one of them Philly dudes. If JJ Redick is out, Bayless or McConnell, and maybe Sadaransky. Like he's only min price, and he could go out and get you 20. But yeah, that's about it. Like,
what about Tyler Enos with Lonzo Ball out? So I looked last time Lonzo Ball missed a game. It was early in the year. It was October 5th. I don't even know if that was regular season or not, but Enos started then. No, that was preseason still, so it wasn't even a regular season game. I don't know. That's one that we're not gonna have the news on.
No, I just don't know if. See, we're not gonna know. I don't know if he's gonna start Hart or Ennis at point guard, and then if Ingram misses 2, then they both start. Ennis will start and Hart will start, and then they'll move KCP up to 3. Yeah. I just don't know. I have not watched enough of Hart to know if he can handle the ball enough to start at point guard. So, I mean, you could always take a flyer on that, but you could. Well, hold on. Hold up. That's the last game.
Yeah.
What's the OKC one?
You'd have no pivots if you.
Yeah, I mean, unless you played the freaking bowling ball, which nobody wants to play that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you either got I wouldn't do it on the main team probably, but you could do it on one of the $4, one of the low-dollar donkeys or something.
Yeah,
if you want to take, if you really want to take your balls out and put them out there, you could do it, because if he's gonna start, I don't see how he don't pay his price off against Minnesota.
Yeah, I think.
But you'd have to have a strategy where you can pivot up to Teague and pivot down from somewhere else.
Exactly, for sure.
Yeah, on FanDuel, I would say, without knowing, obviously, we're not going to know. Or at least we don't think we will. I would say that Hart is the safer option because there's other options at shooting guard.
Anyway.
Well, aside from that, if you find out, Hart's not going to be in the situation you wanted to be in.
Right.
At least you
could pivot.
You could just Crawford's down there, Jamal Crawford. There's other options. So on FanDuel, he's definitely goes without saying. It's something it wasn't necessary. But Paul, I like what you said. Both of you guys like Westbrook. I love Westbrook. He's my favorite stud of the night, like he is most nights. But that's the thing. If you're going to pay up for Westbrook, then you most likely are going to want to pay down the other spot, and that's where it gets a little ugly. I am looking at guys like Jarrett Jack. I am looking at a little bit of guys, even Bayless, who his price went up $1,000, something like that. Don't feel comfortable. But yeah, I'm looking at the same recipe in the lineups that I'm going to play Russ. I'm not looking to pay up twice on a FanDuel site. I'm looking to pay up once, and I'm looking to pay down at the other, and it's pretty ugly down there. So I would lean towards the Knicks guys. Number 1. Jack is a starter, Nitty, and minutes. And number 2, the pace up, obviously. The Knicks are a slow-paced team this year, so Philly's actually in a pace-down situation. I expect Philly to be showing up as a pace-down situation. The Knicks a slight pace-up. So I'm with you. I lean more towards the Knicks, but I still think McConnell and Bayless are in play if Embiid is out, etc.
But if you're making multiple teams, if you want Russ, you probably most likely want to put Harden on there. And if you want LeBron James, you probably most likely want to put KD or Draymond or something on there.
See, I actually
they're gonna go back. If Russ is gonna go off, James Harden is gonna go off, unless it's just there's no way without Chris Paul on the court, James Harden is the entire team. The usage rate is absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm. No,
insane.
I agree.
That's true.
I agree with that specific scenario. I don't necessarily think that you have to take 2 of the most expensive studs from one game. I don't think if I'm playing Westbrook, if Westbrook was playing KD, right? We've seen that happen a bunch of times. How often did KD and Westbrook both go out there and have great games? Very rare. Usually one of them has a good game, the other one craps the bed.
How often do you think when Russ and Harden is going to play each other, how often do you think both of them is going to go out and have great games?
I'm pretty sure Westbrook usually gets the edge on him because Roberson.
Real quick, last year, right, they played 4 times, and Harden's, these were his FanDuel totals, 54.6, 31.4, 55.2, and 46.8. He didn't make value a single game.
Yeah, that's my point. Just from playing fantasy sports, people always assume when they pick these marquee games, if I'm playing the Golden State game, that means I have to take Durant and I have to take LeBron. I disagree. I think that you're investing yourself too much in one game. There are 5 games, 5 really good games, and you're spending majority of your salary on one specific game for 2 players. I disagree. I agree with the correlation. You want to play guys from each side, but I don't think it has to be the stud every time. You know what I mean? I know in this particular scenario,
I agree with LeBron and KD, but I do not agree with James Harden. He's played over 40 minutes 2 games in a row. He's had over 50 points 2 games in a row. He has almost 70 FanDuel points 2 games in a row. Oh my God.
But at the same time, I mean, LeBron, KD, these guys, they have similar ceilings. Like unless Harden goes for 80, and even if he does, so KD and LeBron could do it too. You know what I mean?
And look who Harden did those last 2 games against. It was the Clippers and the Lakers.
Yeah. No defense. Exactly.
OKC's like one of the best defensive teams in the league. He's gonna have one of the better on-ball defenders guarding him, right. and it's one of the bigger pace down spots on the slate. There's a lot of warning signs against Harden here, and last year's history against his team. I'm not saying don't play Harden, but I don't know if you need to pair them.
Yeah,
you could.
I don't have Harden right now.
Goes off, but you definitely don't need to.
Yeah.
And Harden's probably the stud I'm most nervous about.
Yeah.
Just looking.
Okay, exactly. So don't you think Harden's going to be the lowest owned out of LeBron, KD, and Russ?
I
do too.
I agree.
You think Harden will be the lowest owned?
Yes. Of those 4, yes. For sure. Because you have so much value down there at shooting guard.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Point guard is so slim, right? I think Russ will be the highest.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Because most people was gonna pick between KD and LeBron.
Yeah. I see your point. See, I figured Westbrook regardless would be the highest owned, but then after that, I guess because of the position scarcity, I assume that Harden would be the next because you can't. Most people aren't. If you're playing Westbrook, you're not playing LeBron and KD together. So that's going to reduce the ownership right there. You have to pick, right? Shooting guard, there's nobody else to pick, right? Just like there's nobody to pick.
I don't think. No, that's not true. I disagree with that a lot. You got Klay Thompson at home. You got Eric Gordon playing point guard. You have Wiggins versus LA. You got Dwayne Wade.
And you think that
Jordan Clarkson
on a site like FanDuel where you have to pick 2. On a site like FanDuel, you got to pick 2. You think people are going to pass up Harden to play like those guys?
Yeah, I did immediately. You got Jamal Crawford. Yeah, Harden was the easiest one to leave off of the team that I just made.
So
you have all these guys 4,000 and under that are guaranteed minutes.
Roto Grinders has the ownership projections up already, and this is fucking crazy. But John Wall projected to be the highest owned player at 40%. Then Russ, James Harden's 4th at 27, LeBron at 25, and KD is
3rd. He's 3rd. Way down.
I haven't even found his name yet. 12%.
What? Who's 3?
The 3rd highest owned player on the slate is Jeff Teague.
Oh, Jeff Teague.
Again, point guard position scarcity. But
so KD is under 10.
Yeah.
Yo, Cash, look at small forward. There's small forwards. Okay. There's small forwards out there. LeBron, KD, Butler. Like there's options. Right. Look at shooting guard. There aren't any.
Yeah. And to your point, Cash, about the guys playing Westbrook, a lot of them probably will pair him with Harden.
Yeah,
you know, like the average player.
Yep.
You know, so Harden, if Westbrook's somebody that I own,
I'll be playing KD.
Real quick, let's talk about John Wall again. You know, because like how slim point guard is. Now we see that he's projected to be 40%. Like I don't like him. I'm probably not going to have him. But if you did play John Wall, wouldn't you want to either pair him with Kyrie or at least have a bunch more from this game? Like, I don't see John Wall alone going off in other parts of this game not also. Like, if the game gets away, either way, I think John Wall will be quick to come off because he's just getting back from injury. He hasn't gone over 30 minutes. So the only way I see, like, John Wall significantly paying off his salary is with other parts of this game doing it too. You guys agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I would think that if John Wall's going off, Kyrie would be the one on the other side doing it. Yeah, but it might be a price thing because John Wall is normally not this cheap.
Yeah.
So they see that price, and
I'm happy to see this. He's 85 touchdown FanDuel.
I don't think that it's right.
I mean, that's true too. But I mean, point guard is really slim. You know, like realistically, the average player, is he going to click on Jarrett Jack? No. You know, like maybe if Reddick gets ruled out, one of Bayless or McConnell gains some steam. But it's Westbrook, Irving, Wall, and Teague. Like, those are your options.
Yeah. No, that's true. Oof. That's rough. Paul, do you want to move it over to shooting guards?
Yeah. So obviously Harden up top. We just listed some of the negatives, but here's the positives. Without Paul and Capella, it's a 47% usage. With Capella, it's a 42% usage. That's astronomically high. Even if he's not doing the scoring, he's going to be getting the assists. You know, it's a rivalry game. It's, I'm sure he's gonna get minutes. He never comes off the court. So there's pluses and minuses. I'm a little nervous just based on what they did against each other last year. This game's in OKC, not in Houston, but it's still Harden, and he could still put up an 80, and you got to consider him. But of the four most popular studs on the slate, he's probably the one I'm the least interested in because he has the most, negative possible factors. After that, it's a long drop, and you get to Klay Thompson. He's at home. He's going to have either J.R. Smith or Dwayne Wade guarding him. It's a very, very positive matchup for Klay. He's looked really good of late. 2 games ago against Memphis, he hit like his first 15 shots, like almost leading into the half. And, I think the Warriors are going to need a lot of the supporting cast to contribute here. I don't think Durant can win this game on his own without Curry. So if the game stays close, I think it's probably because Klay is doing a lot of damage too. I don't mind him. Let's see what his ownership projection is. It's probably low. Like he always goes under owned. It is very, very low. He is projected for, wow. I'm already at 5% and I haven't found him. Is this real? Hold on. Like I must have missed him.
Oh my God. See, now I want to make a team with Harden and KD and fade Westbrook and fade LeBron.
Yeah. Klay Thompson, 15%. After that, KCP with Lonzo Ball out. Guy's been taking a ton of shots. Minnesota, not a team really known for defense. I don't think we'll see Butler guarding him, but there is a possibility. I think that Ingram news could dictate that. Like without Ingram there, Butler may go there. Butler could also go to Kuzma. It really depends. It's something we're really not going to know with this being the last game. Higher price than we've seen lately on KCP. He'll probably be out there a lot himself to guard Butler. So, a guy that I think I'd have to play with other pieces in the game, but with Ball and potentially Ingram out, he's going to get a big usage bump. Wiggins is too cheap for a pace-up spot against the Lakers, but I don't really want to go there. I like some of the other value better, but I don't see where he doesn't go at least 5x on this price tag unless the game's a blowout. Eric Gordon, he's got 30% usage with Chris Paul out. If they're putting Roberson on Harden, that means he's going to get Westbrook D. I think this is a blow-up spot for him, especially if you're fading Harden. I think you want to play Gordon. Like I don't see Houston getting blown out here. So if it's not Harden doing it, then Gordon's going to have to score like 30 real-life points, and that would be almost 6x right there. After that, I got Clarkson, a big question mark. He hasn't been getting the minutes of late, but with Ball out, this could certainly open up opportunity for him to get more, and could open up a lot of shot attempts to this guy. I'm curious to see. He's projected for 22% ownership. I haven't fully decided where I stand on Clarkson. Patrick McCaw, I like him in this spot. Let me take a quick look how he's done while I do that. Josh Hart, another Laker that I have interest in. I'm just not 100% sure yet. Hopefully we get some news before the first games tip off, but it's doubtful. Andre Roberson did extremely well against Houston last year. 4 games, all 4 of them over 25 FanDuel points, and as high as 38. Going to be on the court a ton here. I think he's super low on play you could take, especially if you're playing a bunch of this game. Jamal Crawford been getting a ton of minutes. If Bielitsa is still out, I think you can lock in about 20 minutes from him. Upside for more, and if his shot's going, he can get you 10x on that price. Maybe not that high, but at least 8. And that is probably it for me at shooting guard. Yeah, and I'm going to take a look at McCall versus the Cavs while Cash talks.
Okay, Cash, what do you see over at shooting guards?
I'm going the other direction because you think shooting guard is not deep, and I'm going to inform you. I love this fucking position. This is my favorite position on the slate.
I think
it's super deep.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Crawford has been balling. He's going back to LA against a bad defense, up pace, has been balling. Andre Roberson is going to be on the court every single minute. James Harden is going to be on the court, and like Paul just said, I already know he's going to smash that price against Houston if the game stays close. TLC is a bag of D's. Josh Hart has been playing over 30 minutes. He played over 30 minutes the last game, and Ball was there. 34 minutes, 30 fantasy points, so almost 10x on his price. Love that. McCall's going to start at point guard. They're going to want his defense on the court. Livingston's coming back, so it will take away some minutes. He doesn't have a high upside because he's my least favorite of these guys. And then Jordan Clarkson, no ball. He's going to run the point. He might play huge minutes. If he comes out off the bench and he's balling, he's going to stay on that fucking court. Kyle Korver, 4,000. Don't love that. But he could also beat that price because he's a shooter. But I would not be playing Kyle Korver all these other options. J.R. Smith is a starter. I'd much rather click J.R. Smith just because he's a starter. Dwayne Wade went off on Golden State last year in Chicago and won me money like a mother because he was low owned and dude went off. Gordon.
I like Dwayne Wade. I like Dwayne Wade a lot.
Gordon is going to have high usage without Paul on the court. He's going to handle the ball a lot. Whenever Harden is on the bench, he's going to run the point guard. Love Gordon. Wiggins, I don't love because he always kills me, but it's an up-paced game like you just said. It's a great option. I don't love that price, though. I don't see major upside at that price. KCP, he's a lock for me all the time. Don't love him today. I like Thompson, but I also don't think he has major upside at that price. And James Harden, I mean, usage you will never see, ever, is that usage. And there's no defense that ever scares me against James Harden. James Harden is one of the few players in the league that I don't care who is guarding him. It means no difference. I play him against Kawhi Leonard every single time he plays Kawhi Leonard. And he had some massive games against Kawhi Leonard. James Harden is a great option. That position is the deepest position of any position on this slate.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you see, to me, it's like when I say is a position deep, right? Like, I see people choosing not to play Westbrook and playing Wall instead. I don't see anybody choosing to play any of these guys over Harden. That's why I think Harden will be popular, especially if Westbrook is popular. Because, like you said, Paulie, most people are going to try to play them together. I think that's vesting way too much in one game. We have Cleveland, Golden State. We got some good games. Even the last game, the Lakers and Minnesota. I would rather, if I'm playing Harden, which is definitely, I think he's obviously in play, but if I'm playing Harden, I'm choosing one of the other guys. I'm not choosing Westbrook. I would rather get a cheaper, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to spend too much money on this one game. Because while it's a great game, it is a very different, Oklahoma City is a very different team than they were last year. They would go at a slower pace. Westbrook is not the only option. They have a couple other guys. So I like Westbrook. I like Harden. I just don't think I want to play them together and spend that much money on one game for two players. If I play Harden, I'd rather pair him with either Carmelo Anthony or maybe Paul George or somebody like that. You know what I mean? If I'm playing Westbrook, maybe I play with Eric Gordon instead. Maybe I play with, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what. Like
I love these options from Eric Gordon down.
Right. No. I agree.
All those guys.
But when you look at the top options, like going above Wiggins and Smart, if you go above there, and like keep in mind, what is the traditional style for people for FanDuel, right? Like they always pay up for one and they pay down for the other. That's typically right. I don't see an option on here, like from 5'8" and above, that would make people not pick Harden as their top option. You know what I'm saying? Like I think most people will try to go value and top. That's just what I would think. And then when I say value, I'm not even saying that they're looking at the bottom where we're looking. I'm talking about they might settle for like a 5'6" or a 5'3" and consider that value. You know what I mean? And like, but either way, I like the bottom. I mean, Harden's obviously a great play, but I like the bottom. Josh Hart, Roberson, Clarkson. I don't see how you can't even at least consider Clarkson. He's going to play point guard. Even if he doesn't start, he will play point guard. They are not going to let this kid Tyler Ennis play over him in crunch time. He is.
If he's playing well, he's going to stay on that court.
He'll stay on the court. Yeah. I agree. So I don't play him. Like it's just I like the bottom. Like you know what I mean? Like Jamal Crawford playing phenomenally. Even TLC, I won't play the guy. I hate him, but if Embiid is out, he's an option. If Redick is out, that's what I meant. Redick. If Redick is out, he's an option. So yeah, there's a lot of guys that we need to consider at the bottom. But yeah, Wade's in a phenomenal spot against Golden State. He's been sneaky, man. We've seen him like 2 games in a row. He's done nothing in the first half and just got it all in the second half and got the value that way. He's sneaky, that
dude. That's how I break down a slate like this, like 5 games. I look for position scarcity, and shooting guard is not it. So I'm gonna try to go down there and get my value there, and then go up for Russ or go up for KD or LeBron or Butler,
right,
or go up for Cat or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it after we get through here, but like it's clearly point guard and center that are scarce, and shooting guard, small forward, and power forward are the deepest.
Yeah, let's segue over to small forwards, Paulie. Go ahead.
Yeah. So. We got the same, situation, Russ, Harden, and then we got LeBron and Durant in this Golden State Cleveland game. Durant's been a monster of late. He's actually the most expensive of the big four at 12-1, and LeBron right beneath him at 12K. In my opinion, I would pick LeBron over Kevin Durant pretty easily here. I think Dwayne Wade is probably the next biggest contributor on that Cleveland team, and he won't even see the court till the end of the first quarter at a minimum. LeBron is just such a big part of his team here. And, I think he's got revenge on his mind and going to want to do well. LeBron's done phenomenal on Christmas in his career. Like, this is his 10th Christmas in a row. And I don't see him just not getting to minimum 60 and probably above if this game stays close. I think he's going to take some pride in trying to guard Durant. And not that he's the greatest defender, but when LeBron's motivated, he's better than what he normally shows. I lean LeBron over Durant. I'm probably not going to have a ton of Durant, although that ownership does make him a little bit more interesting to me. I prefer Jimmy Butler over Durant on a point per dollar basis here. With Ball and possibly Ingram out, I think that does bring a little bit of blowout risk into play, but not a ton. Minnesota doesn't blow out a ton of guys on the road all too often. And, Jimmy Butler's been, similar role as LeBron and Durant on this team. So, I'll take the discount at 8-7 for a guy I think could score fairly close to Durant or LeBron in a close game. Right beneath that, I like Paul George. I expect this game to be high scoring, and I think he's going to contribute across the board. I think that he's got a pretty solid matchup. I'm not worried about Ariza defense, and if somehow that they're slowing down Westbrook, then Paul George will certainly pick up that slack. Paul George also gets a pretty significant amount of run without Westbrook and Melo on the court. He'll come out around the 3-4 minute mark of the first and then sub in for Westbrook at the beginning of the second quarter. So there's a big usage bump for him in those moments where he kind of like proves a lot of his scoring. Robert Covington, if Redick is out, is one of my favorite plays on the slate. At 6'6", I think he's underpriced and has 50-point upside in this game against the Knicks. With Redick out, I think he'll kind of move into that Redick role in the pyramid that they run with Simmons, Redick, and Embiid. So if Redick's out, I think Covington could take 6 to 8 3-pointers, and he's just a beast defensively, steals, rebounds, doing all those other things. Trevor Ariza, just the usage he's had lately with Paul off. If Capella's in, that would take me a little bit less off him. If Capella's out, I'd be very interested. And I think the value here is one of the more slim. I'm probably going to be playing, a Covington, Paul George, Ariza, Butler, or James on most of my teams. But if Courtney Lee's ruled out for the Knicks, then a McDermott would become in play. I think PJ Tucker's in play to help guard guys like PG-13 or Carmelo. And then Kelly Oubre, even with quarterback, he's still probably going to see 20, 25 minutes, and he's 4-1. I think he's a decent value play if you're looking for it at this position.
Okay. Kaz, what do you see over at small forward?
Well, it was close for me between Kevin Durant and LeBron James. Because LeBron James is always his whole team. Now with Curry out, Kevin Durant is his whole team. Draymond isn't right yet. Like, he's just coming back. Shoulder still hurts. He hasn't been getting the value. But with the ownership, I'll take KD every single time. Like, if I can get KD, the number one guy on his team, at that ownership compared to LeBron's, I would take that every single time. Every single time.
Cash is building one team, right? So he's going to war with one squad. It's a little different. Like, I kind of, building three so I can play a little James, a little KD. Mm-hmm. But you got to make serious decisions here. You're going to go Durant over LeBron?
Yes. For sure. Unless I play both. I will. Hell yeah. I mean,
is that just because of ownership?
Exactly. And I just seen a statistic where he's averaged 32 real life points on Christmas Day in like 5 or 6 games or whatever it was. And then that's always with another player. That's always with a Russ. Or that's always, like last year, I was with a Curry and Clay and Draymond. This year, it's a Kevin Durant. That's what it is. It's a Kevin Durant. It's a Kevin Durant. It's a Kevin Durant. There's no Tristan Thompson on the court to take away rebounds. Yeah, I'm playing Kevin Durant over LeBron James at ownership.
Wait, what do you
Better
mean
believe
no
it.
Tristan Thompson?
There's no Tristan Thompson to grab all the fucking rebounds down there.
I mean, he's gonna play though, Thompson.
Yeah, but he's not gonna start and not play huge minutes. He's gonna play 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 15 because they're gonna play small.
Making sure you knew he was playing.
Yeah, he's playing, but he ain't starting. I think Durant can go get a triple-double right here. So can LeBron. I mean, they're both great options. I might play both on my team. I'm not sure. But that ownership, if that's right, I hope that's right because, my God, I'll take that every single time. And Jimmy Butler, if you don't want to pick one of them, like Jimmy Butler against the Lakers, I would want Ingram to be playing. Like, I want this game to stay close. I don't want Ingram to be off and Ball to be off. And no Lopez. I would rather them be on, but he's a great option. George is cheap, but I don't want to play Russ and George together. So if I'm playing Russ, I'm not going to play George most likely. Covington, I do like, but I just don't. I don't have that much interest in that game. Like, I want to go to that Houston OKC game. I want to go to that Cleveland Golden State game. I want to go to that Minnesota LA game. So I don't think I'll have Covington. Ariza, I would play only if Capella is out. And PJ Tucker, he should be on the court. They need his defense. They don't have Ba Mute, so he's the best defender on the team without Chris Paul and Ba Mute out there. And that's probably it. Like, I wouldn't punt with Iggy. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's a tough question. I'm leaning towards LeBron also. Mainly, honestly, because it's something that you've always told me, Cash. When Golden State's at home, their surrounding players typically play better. So it's very possible they don't lean on Durant as much. I'm not saying that he's not capable, but I know LeBron on the road. Kevin Love, for instance, much better shooter at home. You know what I mean? And he's a big part of it. He's really the second option because Dwayne Wade doesn't play as much as Kevin Love does. And so, like, that makes me think that if Cleveland does stay close, it's going to be on his shoulders. So that's kind of what makes me lean LeBron. I'm not saying that Durant is by any means a bad play. He's literally never a bad play. But I do see other options. Like Jimmy Butler, as you guys mentioned, 8,700 on FanDuel against the Lakers in a pace-up spot. Hopefully, we want the game to stay close, obviously, but how does he not mash there? Paul George is 7-7, and he finally did it in his last game against Utah, 55.5. If he gives you a 55.5 at 7-7, he allowed you to pay up at center. He allowed you to pay up for Harden if you wanted him. He allowed you to pay up for Westbrook. You'd be pretty happy. Even if LeBron and KD were to put up a 65, the only scenario where you'd be hurting by not playing, like, say, both of those guys and choosing Butler over one of them is if they happen to put up 80 or 90, which I'm willing to take. I'd be willing to take a chance with my lineups that they won't if I was in that situation. You know what I mean? Like, so of course,
yeah, better be going to triple overtime.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's going to be a tough decision. Small forward definitely seems to be a bit loaded because I agree, Paulie, especially if Redick is out. Covington, we've seen him have monster games, and his price is pretty attractive too, especially when we have these, so many other spots where we want to pay up and because the position sucks. Point guard mainly. But yeah, man, this one's a little bit more tough. One thing for sure, there's not a ton of value down here. I think PJ Tucker is probably, unless some injury news breaks out, PJ Tucker is probably the lowest I'd be willing to go. It's ugly. It is really, really ugly. But the top is, for a 5-game slate, the top is loaded. It's like, you know what I mean? So I know a lot of people like to try to punt small forward at least one of them. This is going to be a day where I think most people are going to pay up for 2.
What was KD's projected ownership again?
12.5.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
What is
wild.
LeBron's? LeBron, I think, was like 27.
Yeah, he was probably the third or second highest owned, or third.
It was Wall, Westbrook, Teague, Harden, LeBron, 25%. So Wall 40, Westbrook 35, Teague 32, Harden 27, LeBron 25.
Interesting.
Okay.
Paulie, move us over to power forwards if you could.
Okay. One quick note, Otto Porter went for 70 against Boston last year in a game in Boston.
John Wall played that game?
Yeah, John Wall did play that game.
The only problem with Porter, though, is, it was a back-to-back, but he only played 21 and 22 minutes after he came back from his hip injury. And he's going to see a little bit more of a better defensive Boston team. Like, he had Crowder, don't get me wrong. Crowder's no slouch last year. And I think that's who we saw last year. But he could, like...
What about Jaylen Brown on the other side of that game? Like, any interest there? Like, he's probably going to be really low owned.
I think that...
Oh, super.
I don't mind it at all. It's just, over the 5 games, I'm sure that most people are with me. I don't like this one. I just see a slower pace, grind it out, nasty kind of very, you know what I mean? I just don't love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I was just like trying to find something for cheap.
Well, he's cheap and he's going to go low owned and he's got upside. Yeah. They're going to need him against Beal. They're going to need him for all, anybody who gets hot. They're going to AJ LeBron go cover him. It's just like basically what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like
man. You could play Luol Deng.
I think you can play Corey Brewer before Luol Deng. Yeah. I mean, that's scary.
He still hasn't seen a minute on the court yet. CK, it's his first game, right?
The first game. That was so.
Okay. All right, power forward. I will not have any Ben Simmons tomorrow. I think he's better with Embiid there, but the guy can't shoot and he can't hit free throws, and I'm not spending $9,400 tomorrow on this guy. I'll spend it on Butler. I'll spend it on anybody else essentially than him. So Ben Simmons probably the biggest bust for me on this slate. I do like Porzingis though. Knicks have a big pace up, big plus minus. This is a third game back from injury. Played 38 minutes on the 23rd against Detroit. Scored 29 real-life points, 9 rebounds, 45.8 FanDuel points. I do expect this game to be close. Knicks are like 2-point favorites. And if they're going to win this game, it's going to be on the heels of Kristaps going off. Before he got hurt, we were seeing him put up 60s, 55s pretty consistently. And with THJ out, Tim Hardaway Jr., like the usage is very high for him as well. I think we see a signature game from Kristaps in the Garden here, so I like him. Draymond, I don't think I'll go to at 8.6. If he was like 78, I'd be more interested, but he just doesn't do enough scoring. And it's like, yeah, he has triple-double upside, but you don't get any extra points for getting a triple-double on FanDuel. And usually his triple-doubles are like 10, 10, 10. You know, he doesn't score that much more points.
You would need 45 to be happy, and he's only gotten 36 and 35 since he came back.
I'm not even really that happy at 45.
Yeah, no, but even to be like remote, like if you got a 35, you'd be pissed.
Yeah, I'd be real pissed. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. And like the only way I play Draymond is in a game stack, and it's almost impossible to game stack these guys. So I won't have any Draymond tomorrow. Kyle Kuzma, absolutely. Guy's been taking 20, 25 shots a game, grabbing, somewhere between 7 and 15 rebounds and playing big minutes. If Lakers stay in this game with Ingram and ball out, it's going to be because Kyle Kuzma is having a monster game. Dario Saric with Embiid back, his usage goes down. I won't have any of that. He's probably going to see some Porzingis defense. So I won't pay $7K for Saric with Embiid back. Carmelo Anthony, I do have interest in. Pace up spot, and I think there's going to be a lot of doubling on Westbrook. Westbrook penetrates and kicks to Melo at 6'2" in a pace up spot. I could see him getting you to 40, and let's see what his ownership projection is. I can't imagine it's high. I think that's like an interesting lower owned play and a way to kind of get different. Like I think George and Westbrook and Harden are going to be like the popular guys, and Gordon. I don't think Carmelo will get much ownership. The projection's 15. OKC and the Knicks have the biggest pace up and plus minus on the slate. So I want to get various parts of them. I think Carmelo's fine on Christmas Day. I think it's a good spot for him. Taj Gibson's in a nut spot against the Lakers here. Have no problem going there. Another guy I think will be remotely low owned. Won't go to Jordan Bell at 5K. Ryan Anderson at 4,400. I do like. He's on the road, so I can play him. And it's Carmelo D. Cash did bring up a point that he may lose some minutes to PJ Tucker because they'll need him for defense. But I think he's still going to start the second half. And if he's hitting his shots, he'll be out there. If Capella misses, he's almost a lock and load for me because he'll be like the backup center. Jeff Green I like as well. Pace up spot. He does well on those. He's in the core 7-guy rotation right now. And I could see them, using him for some defense on guys like Thompson and he's been active. He's getting steals. I like Jeff Green at this price. And I believe that is it.
Okay.
Gorgeous Dong. Gorgie Jang, I like down here as well. I think that he's going to see his 20 upside of maybe 25, 28 minutes if it does get out of hand with the Lakers shorthanded. And he's been like a 1.2 fantasy point a minute kind of guy. So at 20 points, that's 20 minutes, that's almost 30 FanDuel points. At his price, that is 7X. I'll take that. I like Gorgeous Dong, and he will be low owned.
Okay. Cash, what do you see at power forwards?
Ben Simmons is dead to me at that price. Kristaps would be my favorite option in that game. But I like Kyle Kuzma more. The only thing that scares me about Kyle Kuzma is that if he is going off, they will put Butler on him. Like they will do that. Butler can guard this guy. So that's the only thing that does scare me if he is going off. But hey, what can you do? I mean, you got to play somebody. I like him. I don't know if I'm going to have him on my team, but I do like him. Melo. I don't know. I mean, I want to play Melo, but then I also like Taj over him. But Taj has been scaring me because he's not been that great, or just Dong's been taking some minutes.
Yeah.
But I love the matchup for Taj. That's a tough one between these two guys for me.
Yeah.
I like both of them. Like if Anthony's shot is on, I think he could do well. If his shot is off, then he most likely not going to pay off that price. But if he's making his shot, he will pay off that price, I think, today. Taj Gibson has more upside though. If I had to
Yeah, he
like
does.
if I had to pick one that could go for 45, I would pick Taj. So
Yeah. Melo's only gone for his ceiling this year is 43.8. I mean, I think Taj has gotten to 50, but if
yeah,
not, he's
I
been in
know
the high
Taj has gotten like 47, I think.
46.8. I think that's accurate. He's got more upside, like ceiling wise, but like probability of getting to 40, I think Melo's is a little bit higher. But yeah, definitely a tough choice there.
Yeah, it's really close between those two. Jordan Bell, I do like more than you because I don't know if Zaza's gonna play.
Zaza back?
Is he gonna play for sure?
No, it's not for sure, but I think he's probable. Yeah,
But
considered probable for Monday's matchup.
I mean, even if Zaza plays, like Zaza normally plays like
Yeah,
11
14
minutes or
minutes.
something. Yeah, something stupid.
Yep.
And I think that Jordan Bell should stay in the starting lineup. So maybe coach actually does that, but I'm not sure.
No, he's already said that.
Oh, he
Zaza
will.
when he comes
See,
back.
now
What do you
that's just stupid.
What do you think this is? This is the NBA, man. All coaches are dumb.
That's just stupid. Like, especially here with Kevin Love. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. Okay. Yeah, that's dumb. But I do like Bell some. I think. Oh, man, stupid asshole. What a dumbass. Anderson, because he's gonna start. If he's playing well, he's gonna see the minutes. If he's not playing well, he could play. He could literally play 12 to 15 minutes, even starting. Like it's happened more than once this year. But if he's playing well, I want him if Nene is playing, because oh no, not Nene, Capella. Hold on, let me think for a second.
You prefer Anderson with Capella or with Capella out?
Yes, because it just opens up more. Like the pick and roll with Nene and Harden. I mean, I keep saying Nene with Capella and Harden is a deadly thing. So people help off of Ryan, and he can make open shots because he's on the road.
Yep.
But either way, he's still a good play because he's the cheapest starter outgoing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no other starter that's this cheap.
Yeah.
So I do like Ryan Anderson. He's on the road, so he's going to be able to shoot. So he should stay on the court. And Gorgeous Dong, I really, really like. He's been showing upside and not even big minutes. And if Cat or Taj either get hurt or get in foul trouble, this guy's going to go off. Like, this guy has 60-point upside if he played normal starter minutes. He can literally do that in this matchup. It's not going to happen. I'm not saying that's about to happen, but he could do that if he played 35 to 40 minutes like Tibbs loves to play his starters. So I love that. I love that for low ownership. I love that in case it's a blowout because he could get his value on this price in 8 minutes. So I'm cool with that. And I also could click on Mike Scott because I think they might need him for Horford. But I would much rather play Gorgeous Dom.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, Amir Johnson played well last time. When what's his face? Embiid just came back, but Embiid played limited minutes, so that's the only reason I think like Embiid should play much more minutes today. So I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. As tempted as I always am to play Ben Simmons, mainly really point guards against the Knicks. I'm with you guys, at least on FanDuel. I haven't checked his DraftKings price, but on FanDuel he seems a bit priced out at this point, especially considering there are a lot of options that I think we like. I'm with you on Porzingis. I do think that game in general will be the highest owned game, the highest owned game that's not deserving. I'm not saying it's going to be the highest owned game overall, but I don't think it deserves to be one of the highest owned games, and it will be just because it's first. You know what I mean? Just because it's the first game. So there's going to be so many people doing game stacks because they want to see their logo, their names at the top, and you know. So like that makes me a little weary of taking too many players from this game because if you miss, you're really gonna suck. You know what I mean? Like you're really if you miss the players in here, you're gonna suck.
there's the 3 o'clock slate.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. Exactly. Kuzma. I think we can all agree. We probably like him better if Ingram's in, just because Butler, right? Like Butler will guard Ingram,
Exactly.
But if not, then he's going to guard
100.
Kuzma because they don't need him for KCP. Really, he's not the kind of player. They got Wiggins too, so it's like I'm with you guys. Sarge overpriced. I'm not on Melo, just because Paulie, you're a Knicks fan too, and I've seen Melo play the Rockets, and he really wasn't all that impressive when he was on the Knicks, and that was when his usage was a lot higher. His price is attractive, but I don't know, man. There's something about. I mean, like if he, don't get me wrong, he can go for 40, gives you 40, you're happy. To me, that's kind of been his ceiling this year. You know, I mean, maybe an anomaly here or there, but like for the most part,
I mean, it has happened many times at all.
Right. But Taj Gibson, love Taj Gibson in this spot for all the right reasons. I mean, no explanation. You guys nailed it. I'm not even going to talk about Bell. You guys addressed that one. You guys are the experts there. One play that you guys didn't mention too much. We did talk about how Marcus Morris is questionable. So he's going to be matched up with his brother if he plays. And in the past, I mean, I have to look it up. Obviously, I haven't done it. For the live stream tomorrow, I'll look it up and I'll tell you how they've done. But they've played each other in the past, and I know that they've gotten at least Markieff. I'm pretty sure I played Markieff in the one time when Detroit played Washington last year. And he got off to a pretty hot start. You know, they're pretty close. Cash, you always talk about how, Markieff hates Phoenix, or is there something like one of them situations because they wanted to play together and they didn't get to play together.
They might be one of the closest set of twins in the world. Like they're insane. Like they have all the identical tattoos all over their entire body. Like these two dudes are nuts. Like, they're so close that it's scary. Scary.
So I think at his price, I know Markieff hasn't played all that well, but at 4-3. He happens to be in a power forward position against a bad rebounding team. Maybe we get a couple extra rebounders. Not that he's the greatest rebounder, but maybe he plays with a little chip on his shoulder when he's playing against his brother, assuming his brother plays. But even if not, his brother's going to be there. His brother's going to be watching him. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I have noticed over the last few years. These guys are close. You know what I mean? I do play Markieff when he plays the Suns or any team that he might have a vendetta against. Not only because of himself, maybe his brother. If his brother don't like a team, I'll play him anyway. Because I'm like, these guys are like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I figured I'd mention him, throw him out there. But everything else you guys said, I'm with you, man. Especially with Dieng and Anderson. He's on the road. That I thought was interesting. Now, what do you think of this perspective? I mean, this is probably splitting hairs, but I would say that on FanDuel. Well, it's interesting, but on DraftKings, I think I prefer Nene out for Ryan Anderson. And the reason is because I want him closer to the basket. I don't want to just rely on his points. I know he's on the road, he can get them, but I want more rebounds. If I can get him, I want him. I'm not saying he'll do great against... Oh, man, he can't play center. He can't play center.
Man. If Adams is on the court, hell
There's no way he's going to play center. He's going to play the 4 no matter what. So then, first of all, I think Capella's going to play. I mean,
he could play backup center against the backup center, but he can be on the court for Adams. Adams will eat him up.
Yeah, and then it just seems to me like, I don't know, Anderson may not fit in this game plan. Between PJ Tucker, between Ariza, like these are all guys that I feel like they would rather have on Melo and George than Anderson. And then if Adams in the game,
he spaces the court so well for Harden and Gordon.
Right. No, he does. But if Melo is starting to go off, wouldn't you rather have PJ Tucker in there against him? If Paul, and Paul George, I mean, you kind of need Ariza and Tucker. You need one of them guys, right? So I think my point is that he doesn't seem as secure as maybe I first thought he was. When I first looked at him, I thought at that price he was kind of maybe a little more secure. And now I'm starting to see, okay, well, he can't match up with Adams. No way. And if his shot ain't falling and Melo's is, they may have to move him off the court to bring in PJ. If they don't want to get rid of Ariza, it's a tough call. So I guess what do you think it's more so? It seems to me like PJ is actually the one that you can count on to play because they're going to need his defense, right?
Yeah, I mean, PJ will get more minutes,
right.
But,
I'm just talking strictly minutes. I'm not talking about playing one or the other. I'm just talking about minutes. Like, he seems the more safe,
I think
minutes.
Tucker will be more likely to get 35 minutes, right. But Tucker could get 35 and Anderson get 28.
Right.
It's very possible. I think he's still the sixth man on this team.
Yeah.
Even,
No, yeah.
Yeah, no, Tucker has played over 30 minutes 4 games in a row.
Right.
I think Anderson has only played 30 minutes one time in that span.
Yeah.
Right. And like a lot of it's a matchup thing. And they played some teams where Ryan Anderson is fine at 5. They didn't have to worry about some big monster. This time they do. So it's going to change things up.
Anderson's been dealing with injury too of late. Like it was earlier in the month.
That's a good point.
You know, he was in and out too.
Yeah.
Anderson though, like if he gets it going, he has 7-8x upside.
Right.
You know,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Tucker does not have that.
No.
Yeah.
No. Definitely
Like,
not.
Tucker does that once every 20 games kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably not even that often.
Yeah. No, that's true. All right, Paulie, let's move it over to centers and take this bad boy home.
So Joel Embiid on FanDuel at, what is he, like 11.5?
10-8. 10-8.
10-8?
Yeah.
10-8.
Don't do it.
I still think that's too expensive. I mean, he's got a phenomenal matchup against Cantor. And even, you know, Kyle O'Quinn will probably give him a little bit more trouble, but Knicks do have bodies to throw at him. Even if they get into foul trouble, they do have a lot of bigs. But, you know, he didn't play a ton of minutes against Toronto. I think the minutes are probably extremely risky here. I just don't, you know, if I'm going to spend 10-8, like I'll find another 700 for Westbrook. I'll find another 1,200 for Durant or LeBron. I'm not going to have the 10-8 for Embiid on any team. Probably same goes for Karl Anthony Towns. Now on DraftKings, Embiid is 9.5, and Cat is 8.9. Totally different story. You know, so I'll get exposure to those guys over there. But on FanDuel, I'm not going to have either. Probably Kevin Love is the first center I'm looking at on FanDuel. I actually like, you know, if you choose to go Durant over LeBron, then I think you gotta bring that back with Wade and Kevin Love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Zaza starting, if he does play, like Kevin Love should be able to do damage there. Even Jordan Bell, I think Kevin Love, you know, shouldn't, you know, get shut down by him. And, you know, if LeBron is struggling, those guys will pick up the slack. I don't love paying $8K for Love. Like, I won't have him naked, but I will have him with LeBron, with a Wade Durant, with Clay. Like, if I'm attacking this game, Kevin Love is one of the better players that I have interest in. Capella is very interesting if he plays, but he just doesn't get a ton of minutes. He can do a lot of work in a short amount of time. Let me see how he's done against OKC historically. Oh, terrible. Wow.
Yeah, Adams ain't no joke.
Yeah. No,
Adams ain't no joke.
No Capella at 7-8. So,
Man, Adams, hold on. Let me tell you a little story about Adams. I don't know if nobody knows, but this dude has like 18 brothers and sisters. So this kid has been fighting his whole life just to eat. So this kid is a soldier, man. One of Steven Adams, I love that guy.
he's Australian, right?
Yeah, it's New Zealand.
And
He's a Kiwi or whatever the hell they call them.
Those dudes are crazy, you know, like their hustle like freak maniacs. I get you.
He's also sized like a freak maniac as well.
But,
Yeah, and could you imagine trying to feed that family of 18 if they're all his size? Oh my god.
No, bro.
That's crazy.
No.
Yeah, so it's like Love is probably my first option. Al Horford for sure against Girl Twat, against Keith. I don't know, you know, he's in a good spot here. He's a triple-double threat. Boston's getting paced up. They're at home. I like Al Horford at 7K. I think I'd want other pieces to go with him, but if I'm playing from this game, he's probably my favorite option on Boston. I like that price, 7K. Steven Adams is fine, but I don't think I'll be going there, but I'm cool with playing that. Enes Kanter, you got to respect what he's been doing lately. Even, you know, I know he went for 56 against Detroit. The game before that against Boston, he had the 32 at half and just didn't come back in because the Knicks were down by so much, and the second group brought them back to eventually win. But if he comes back in, he's going into the high 40s as well. So that first game was without Porzingis. Second game was with Porzingis. So I like Kanter here. You can pick on Embiid with offensive scoring centers, and at 6'5", there's a lot of upside in that price. Julius Randle against Cat D, you can definitely do that. And Gortat at 4.3. Definitely the minutes are risky. Like we've seen him go 15 minutes, 18 minutes here. And then against other teams like Cleveland, New Orleans, Clippers played 29. I do think he'll get enough minutes to pay off his price here, and Boston struggles versus bigs. In the playoffs last year against Boston with essentially the same group of guys, he played 25 minutes or more and as high as like 42 and had some big games. So I like Ortat, especially for the savings to fit in studs across the slate. And that's really it for me, unless we get news. Like if O'Quinn's out, then maybe Willie Hernangomez is interesting. You could play Nene or Baines, but I don't think I'll go there unless I'm desperate for the savings.
Okay. Cash, give us your famous center rundown.
Oh, I hope Capella doesn't play. A Cat, man. I like Cat because he has the biggest upside of the position, but my God, that price, and I could just see in my future like a 32 if I play him. So that's always scary because he just played Phoenix and got 40. Like a 40, a 10-7 on this slate, you're dead. If you pay 10-7 for a guy and he goes out and gets you 40, pretty much dead. You're not gonna win. So that's always scary. No way I play Embiid. Kevin Love I do like, but am I gonna pay that? I think I'm gonna be paying all the way down to Nene and just praying. And if Capella plays, maybe I just go give me 15, bro. Just go give me 5x, and we'll go to war with the rest of this lineup. But Al Horford, there's all these guys are Al Horford's in a good spot.
Yeah.
Because Marcin Gortat can't guard Al Horford. Just no freaking way. And Baines ain't gonna play a lot of minutes, so I like Steven Adams in the up-paced game, a game where you can get a lot of rebounds. Should stay on the court. I don't love that price though. Cantor has been balling for sure. But it's just hard for me to click. I need money for the rest of my lineup. So I need money. Julius Randle, I would like to pick over them because I think he's going to be lower owned.
Yeah.
And if he gets enough minutes against Cat, oh, man, that could be a good thing at 5'9". Marcin Gortat,
on Randall, I don't see how he doesn't get the minutes here. We had the 8-minute, whatever
debacle.
that was. Yeah, debacle. Good word.
Yeah, it was a good word.
Exactly.
And it was,
but since then,
not a curse word either.
24 and 23 minutes, and he's been balling. He scored 42 and a half DraftKings points against Golden State, and then 28.3 against Portland with a good defender, Nurkic. And Cat is not a good defender. I think Randall, is kind of earned himself back in the rotation. And with Ingram and Ball definitely out, and Ingram possibly out, he's now seventh man. I don't see how he doesn't get minutes in this game with Ball out, and they're gonna need his size. Minnesota's big.
I hate Luke Walton. When a dude is doing what he did against Golden State, why does he only play 24 minutes? Why does that happen? How is that? I don't know. I hate Luke Walton. Yeah, if he could get 30 plus minutes, man, he could go for 50.
Yeah, interesting.
Holmes. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, interestingly enough about Randall, ever since the Houston debacle, where Nance actually had a decent game, Nance has played 12 and 10 minutes the last two games.
Yeah, well, Julius Randle is way more talented than Larry Nance Jr., and I like Larry Nance Jr., but Julius Randle has talent. Just doesn't get to showcase it because he never get on the freaking court. And when he does get on the court, he showcases it, but he gets 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
Coach definitely doesn't like him, but he's probably going to need him without Ball and Ingram.
Agreed.
Rashard Holmes is a big no because Embiid is going to play. Zaza Pachulia is always a no. He could be on the court by himself, get 100% usage, and I still would never play him. And Nene is my guy, I think. I think I'm gonna just be like, okay, let's go. Just if Capella plays, you're still gonna give me 15 to 20. If Capella doesn't play, maybe you can give me more.
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna do it for min price.
If Kyle doesn't play, like he could have a good game there. Like he
Yeah, he could go for 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll run that pick and roll, and he's good. Like he produces when he gets minutes.
I mean, and Baines is an option as well, but he doesn't have the upside like Nene does. Unless he's playing Detroit. That's it, CK.
You know what really sucks is I would love to play Adams in this spot. If Nene is the only guy in my way, and I can play another, I respect Nene's defense. I respect him. Not against Adams. Adams is a beast. This dude he's a big man. The only thing that is holding me back is the fact that this guy played 50 minutes against Philadelphia. 50. And only put up 24.4 FanDuel points. That is terrifying to me. Like, you want to talk about a magician? That's the ultimate disappearing act. You're on the court for 50 minutes and you're a center.
Yeah, but he ain't supposed to be he ain't supposed to be that dude. Like, he's the fifth option.
No, but rebounds. I mean, come on. Give me a rebound. Give me a rebound, dude. Like,
at his price, there's just not much upside in it. It's like
no. I don't want to play him at
in a game stack. Definitely not a guy you run naked in that game.
I feel like a guy who plays 50 minutes on a court at center and gives you 24.4. I feel like his floor lowers from that. I feel like that's you know what I'm saying? His floor just lowers. Like, I don't believe his floor is this 24. No, his floor to me is now 15. Because how do you stay on the court for 50 minutes and not put up more than 24 and 0.4 against a team that struggles against centers? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I feel you. I love Adams as a player, but I wouldn't be paying no 6-6, I don't think.
Yes, that was just the one comment I had to make about it. I know neither of you guys were interested in rostering him. When you guys were talking about him, I looked at the game logs and I just had to say something about that because that was just absurd, man. Absurd.
If O'Quinn is active, like, I think you can go there, right? Like, there's a good chance Canner gets in foul trouble.
Yeah.
And they're going to need him out there. Like, Philly's pretty big. They've closed games with him, even with Canner there. Like, it's not a sure thing, but I think there's upside in 4K. Like, if he does get the run, if Canner gets in foul trouble. Canner is supposedly hobbled by an injury. I don't know if that still exists, but I think O'Quinn is not the worst like low cost play down here if you don't want to go to a Nene or a Baines.
Yeah, I don't mind that call at all. Not at all.
But I think Gortat is by far my favorite down there. Like, I think he's going to get the 25 minutes at least.
I would hope so. This is like, in a sneaky sense, this is actually a pretty good, like, rebounding wise. Boston, one of the worst rebounding teams in the league every year. And Kyrie Irving is not helping that. So it's like...
Yeah, so, like, the Orlando game was a blowout, right? Or was that close?
I think it was pretty big lead.
2 nights ago.
I'll assume it was a blowout because it was Orlando.
Well, Vucevic broke his hand early.
Yeah, fractured it, right?
Broke his hand.
Yeah.
I'm looking right now. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, Washington won 130 to 103.
Yeah. Wow.
So
okay.
That's a blowout. All right, and then the game before that, where he played only another like 18 spot, was against Brooklyn, and it was another blowout. They got beat by 30. Right.
See, I mean, the minutes, I think the thing that only scares me is, of course, the coach, because he seems to hate Gortat. But if Al Horford is really good from the outside, they'll take him off. But it's a slow-paced game, so I really want him. I really don't want to play him in a high-paced game. So Boston's not gonna, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna run up and down the court at a breakneck speed.
No, not at
so
all.
I do think the minutes, like, I think he has a 25-minute floor.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God! If you think that's his minute floor, then I'm playing.
I do. Yeah, I do
there's
think
no
that.
question.
I do think he could get, if it stays close and it's a close game, I do think he'll get at least 25 minutes.
Cruncher's projection for him is 26 minutes.
Yep. And he could go for 35.
Yeah, even 25, I'll take. And he allows me to get a lot of studs. Like I like Gortat a lot at center. He might be my favorite play.
At center?
Yeah. For the price, for what it allows me to get, and for if you think he's got a 25-minute floor, I'll take a 20 at 4-3.
Yeah.
I'd want more obviously, but for like the what that allows you to do with other spots. Otherwise, you got to pay up. I ain't going anywhere near Townsend and Embiid on FanDuel. I don't really want to get Love either at 8K. Like, is he really going to go for 50 here? I doubt
Yeah,
it.
no, that's why I wanted to go all the way down.
Yeah. So, looking at these options down here, I think Gortat's our safest.
Yeah, I mean, there's spots where he has shown upside, so I think we can consider him, especially because we want to pay up everywhere else. Got to pay on
I
someone.
hate Karl Anthony Towns so much.
I know. I can't believe it.
What'd you say on the last show?
I did listen to that show,
I know.
Cash. I did listen to it. Wow, I can't believe you actually said that on a show, and you can't even take it back. We have it archived. Like, it's forever, bro. That was the most off-brand thing.
I didn't play him, but
that was the most off-brand thing I have ever heard you say.
I can't spend that on Boogie because I just need to get Cat.
What? Said that.
Oh, I hate Cat so much, man.
Oh man,
he made those words come out of my mouth.
He did,
and he still
and then he went out and done it, and he done it so hard.
He went out. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for the position by position breakdown. Paulie, Cash, it's Christmas Eve. Well, really Christmas Day, I guess, at this point. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and doing the show for the nation, man. We had a lot of people watching with us live on this Christmas Eve, so I guess a lot of people are excited about some NBA basketball on Christmas Day.
Yeah, man, I am definitely excited. Take advantage, all you listeners out there. Free cheat sheets tomorrow. Make some money on this slate. Take advantage of the season package at a discount.
Happy holidays, no spaces. That's the promo code. $10 off. You have to use that. No spaces.
Gonna have now that football's coming to an end, Patio Joe doing some special guest hosting appearances. The NBA is gonna be fun till the playoffs, man.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be a good time. Riding it out till baseball gets here.
That's it. Well, it was a good old time. So yeah, guys, don't forget to go over to whitestate.com and check out our packages. But take advantage of the sale and rest of the NBA season. Normally $79.99, now going to be $69.99 with a $10 promo code, and that's Happy Holidays, no spaces. Paulie D's cheat sheet for free tomorrow only, Christmas Day only. Come check it out. Watch the video. The video is already on the page. Go to whitestate.com. You go to the NBA section of the menu. You click on cheat sheets. All you got to do, you'll see everything right there. And for those of you who are subscribed, those of you who are already riding with the nation, we will be having a special live stream, live stream for you guys tomorrow morning. It's going to be pretty early my time. Paulie, what is it, 10:30 on the Eastern? I'm here for 2 days, and I'm already screwed up with my times, bro. I think first game's at 12.
Yeah,
so.
Hour and a half before lock. So 12, so 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Western.
Yes, 7:30 for me.
On Christmas morning.
Yes.
That's some passion, okay?
That's it. That's what we do. We do it for the nation. So don't ever say that. Don't ever say we don't care. But anyway, guys, if you're watching on YouTube,
and my army full of kids will be opening their presents.
The army is real. The CashinDFS army. If you're watching on YouTube, please click that thumbs up. That like button means a lot to us. If you're listening on Podbean, give us a follow. If you're listening on iTunes, give us some 5-star reviews, guys. It helps us out, helps us keep doing this. So do us a favor and do these things. We wouldn't be asking you every single show, repeating ourselves, if it didn't help us. So please do that. Gentlemen, before we get out of here, I'm going to ask you for some closing thoughts on the slate or just in general. Paulie D, you first.
I think it's an awesome slate. It's a lot of fun all day long. Definitely stars and scrubs on FanDuel. Hopefully we get some clarity on some of the injury news guys like Ingram and some of the others we mentioned. I can't remember this late. But we'll be on in the morning. Hopefully we got some things, some news to help break it down. And take advantage of the free cheat sheets, make some money, and keep the nation going. Merry Christmas to all you, mother.
Cash, what you got to say in closing?
Oh man, I just ran my thing. It spit out Harden, George, Kristaps, and Marcin Gortat.
Marcin
Gortat.
It didn't spit out no Westbrook or the big two small forwards.
Wow.
And who was it? Who was that for? It was Harden, PG, Kristaps.
Yeah, Harden, George, Kristaps, and Gortat.
Nice.
All right. So, for Paulie D for CashinDFS and the entire White Steak Nation, as always, good luck. And Merry Christmas.
This thing want to pay up for Kristaps.